...2024 has been a challenging year for liveaboards. There have been fires, a recent sinking from a storm reported in the news, and people have tragically died. So safety on liveaboards and diving and travel for that matter is our main priority. So I figured now was a good time to reaffirm some safety procedures and best practices as divers on a liveaboard. Hi all of you awesome scuba divers out there, welcome to the Scuba Diving Magazine channel, your favourite place for the latest scuba diving news and gear reviews. Now, of course, I don't want to bring everyone down too much, but with recent events, I think some safety reminders are a good idea. One important thing to remember is that whilst liveaboard incidents are, of course, always reported on, we don't report on uneventful itineraries, which are the majority. We don't report when everything goes perfectly well, but when something goes bad, of course, we report on that. So just like airplane accidents, which, of course, whilst tragic, those get reported on, but normal flights, people don't think too much about them. So it's statistically safe to fly, it's one of the safest ways to go, but there are tragedies, and there are some things that you can do to make your scuba diving liveaboard trips safer and prepare in the unlikely event that there is an emergency. Explore Adventures fleet sponsor today's video. They've already produced several safety videos for their fleet of liveaboards, so you already know how much they care and how much attention they put into your safety, which of course leads me into my first point. Let's be honest, not all liveaboard operators are made equal. Whilst many spend a lot of time and effort to maximise safety and enjoyment by training staff and upgrading their vessels to be the best that they can be, others are more interested in just maximising their profit margins and just by meeting the bare minimum safety requirements that just allow them to operate. Now, I know which one of them I'd rather sleep on board with, the one that pays much more attention and invests in a lot of safety equipment and training. So when you're choosing a liveaboard operator, do your due diligence and read up on the company themselves. Look at their safety history and ask about their safety procedures on the vessel that you are considering. I've already made a video on the questions that you should be asking when you book a liveaboard. That's going to be up here if you want to watch that, but watch the rest of this video first, obviously. You simply want to vet the operator and the vessel beforehand to ensure that they're up to scratch and that they take their safety very seriously. Pay attention to the safety briefing. At the start of every liveaboard trip, just like at the beginning of every commercial flight, you've got the flight attendant and they go through their safety briefing that describes all of the safety features and procedures. The same thing happens on liveaboards. So they'll go through all the safety features, the procedures of that particular vessel. Safety conscious liveaboard operators like Explore Adventures will also run safety drills throughout the week, to which should add to your comfort level. Just pay attention to those briefings and the drills as well, and when they mention the locations of things like your life jacket in your cabin, go and actually touch it. That's the moment that you want to discover that something's wrong or something's missing, not in a real emergency. You don't want to open up that cabin door and realize that, hey, there's no life jacket in here. Also, know how to don the life jacket and practice doing it. It's all very well and good seeing the flight attendant do it 60 different times, but actually doing it yourself is a little different, and it's nice to be able to go, oh, okay, and that's how it got, oh, okay, that makes much more sense. Have a look around for things like fire extinguishers and smoke alarms. You may be the first person on the boat to notice a fire, so it's good to know where the closest extinguisher is so that you can help start the fight. If the crew doesn't point them out, then just ask where things like the muster stations are and where the life rafts are, so that in your mind you know roughly which direction you want to go. And if the water conditions tend to get rough, or if there's like any kind of emergency, because emergencies happen kind of quickly, just at the first kind of sense or feeling of something a little bit off, try and move a bit closer to your muster point. Even if you don't need to be there, it is just a safer place to be than somewhere down in the bowels of the ship. So if you're paying attention, you should be like one step ahead of an emergency. Heed all safety instructions. Does the vessel have a policy of no battery charging in the cabins? Then follow that. It might just be, well, actually I'm in my cabin and no one's going to know. Actually, no, just follow the policies. Certain areas are going to be off limits, especially when a boat is underway. There's going to be a reason for that. Enjoy your holiday, but don't leave your common sense at home. Check that you are properly covered. Insurance policies are quite tricky creatures, and the companies have just teams of people who specialize in stating technically you're not covered because of this paragraph in your policy. So it's always good to know what is and is not covered by any policy. So check for exclusions in the small print. It'll definitely help with your insomnia reading through the small print, but you don't want to think that you're covered for one particular thing or another and then find out that you actually aren't. So some policies will cover you, for example, if you have a diving accident, which sounds great, but they don't actually cover if your dive boat has an accident. Silly things like that. So it's the best thing is just to talk with someone to confirm what you actually are and, more importantly, are not covered for in your insurance policy, so that you are not left to foot the bill. Should the unexpected happen, you're not going to have time to go through the shelves and the cupboard doors and things to find your important stuff if you need to disembark in a rush. Since emergencies aren't planned, you want to make it as clean and easy as possible to act fast and keep as safe as possible and escape. Pick up a small dry bag and pack it with your essentials like your fully charged phone, your wallet is useful, your ID like your passport, maybe even a spot of cash, because cash is king in most places. Spare medication as well is very important. A waterproof torch nearby is always useful. Anything that will make your life easier when you're either sitting in your local embassy waiting for a temporary passport to be processed, or you're at a pharmacy that might be able to order in your specific medication. If you need something, it's useful to have it with you. With ID, like your passport, some boats like to keep everyone's passports all together so they can more easily go through checkpoints and things. So they take it off you at the beginning of the trip. Get a photocopy of your passport. It's not going to solve all of your problems because it's just a photocopy, but it will make things easier at the embassy, as opposed to, oh, well, actually, no, it's 30 meters down in the bottom of this ocean. A little bit of preparation goes a long way in an emergency. The size of your go bag really depends on the diver. Some like 1, 2, maybe 5 litre that holds everything. Others a tiny bag like this that just lives around their neck with the bare essentials like a fully charged phone and their passport. Whatever you choose is the right thing. It's very much up to you. In case of emergency, whilst you have some spare time, walk around the boat and familiarize yourself with its layout. Once you're happy with the general layout, think about if you had to take action, where would you go, and then physically walk that route to the muster point. Take note of physical cues on the path, i.e. the hatch is 3 doors on the right, or there's carpet on the floor in this section. On the back of most cabin doors and are dotted around the actual boat itself will be a deck plan. Have a look at that. It will have a highlighted escape route from that position, and then Also look for alternative routes and escape points. Just in case your primary route is blocked by anything, you don't want to spend any unnecessary time looking for another exit route that might actually be behind you. So just, yeah, familiarize yourself with the overall layout of the vessel. When you are walking that escape route though, however, before you go opening up escape hatches, have a word with the crew about that. Doorways and things, of course, bear in mind it might be someone else's cabin, so those kind of things knock first. But yeah, when it's like an escape hatch, just ask. Explorer Adventures will always oblige and show you how they open so that you can experience it and confirm that you have a clear path. But they may not need passengers randomly roaming around open hatches at any given time and leaving them unsecured, so do ask first. Wherever you're sleeping, keep your grab bag and a light close to hand because it might happen at night in emergency, and think about and know your best exit should you have to act fast if you're woken up. It's not unusual to see a range of advice online on the subject of liveaboard safety. A lot, like medical advice online, can be pretty wild. It's a tough balance. You want to be as safe as possible, but you don't want your whole bag to be just full of emergency kit for any eventuality, and you have to now explain to airport security why you've got this roll down escape ladder in your carry-on. So if you do have any worries, then just have a chat with Explorer Ventures. They run liveaboards all around the world every single day, and they've been doing it since the 1980s, so they can explain what is worth bringing with you on particular itineraries and walk through any concerns that you may have, just putting any of those to rest. I'll pop affiliate links to their website up here in the corner. You'll have seen that popping up during the video, and I'll pop it down in the description below so you can always find it. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all that good social media stuff. Thank you for watching, everybody, and of course, safe diving.